Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Trending Issues on Africa Update TV. I am your host, Faith Kodo, and I am excited to be joined by Mr. Miebaka Iye Nengi.
That's correct.
Thank you for joining us, sir. Mr. Miebaka is a seasoned broadcast journalist with over 27 years of experience. He served as the general manager of Civil Best Communication between 2001 and
22.
2021 and 2022. He's also served as the head of stations for Salvation TV International, and he's been the acting head of station at Authority FM 91.9, namely that's Anambra State. So he's had a trade all over the country. When we say over 27 years, that obviously is no joke. And he's also a strategic content creator. He's a script writer. He's a voiceover artist and a corporate compare. It's such an honor to have you here with us, sir, as our first
Thank
guest
you.
on the show. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much for
Faith.
being here
Thank
with
you.
us.
Yeah.
So today we will be discussing we'll be looking into the crisis in the River State House of Assembly, which is an offshoot of the impasse between the state governor, Governor Sim Fubara, and his predecessor, who is now the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. They've been at loggerheads since last year, and it has somehow affected the political terrain in the state and the House of Assembly members. They've been going back and forth. We've had like three factions between December and just May this year, a couple of months. The latest and the twist of events is the swearing in of Victor Okojumbo, the member representing Bonny constituency, as the new Speaker of the House of Assembly. This happened last week Wednesday, and between last week Wednesday and Monday, the four pro Governor Fubara lawmakers in the House, they screened and approved the nomination of Dagogo Iboroma as the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice for the state. And on Monday as well, following the approval, the screening and confirmation, the governor swore him in as the Attorney General. Now, haven't been in the field in this job as a journalist for this long. I believe you've experienced other political crises. We have it's becoming a thing in Rivers State where the predecessor and the incumbent at some point they fall out and they go at each other. They're always threats of impeachment for the sitting governor and stuff. With your experience and everything you've had to witness as a journalist and a River State person, what can you say about the current situation of things in the House of Assembly, with the Oko Jumbo's faction and the Martin Mihile-led faction, who 27 lawmakers who defected from the PDP to APC and their seats were declared vacant, and now they're trying to impeach the governor. From your esteemed position as a veteran journalist and comparing this current situation with other similar issues we've had in the political terrain in the states, what is your take on what is happening now?
Okay. First, there are various angles to this. One, thank God you talked about like history. Now, first of all, by law, the legislature is an important arm of government and established by law by the Nigerian Constitution for the enactment of laws, like at the state level. So you have the judiciary, you have the executive. And under democratic conditions and rules and principles, they are supposed to be working together as co equals, you know, to check each other and to make the work of governance seamless. Now, in the history from the old river states, we've always had a legislature that has been robust, very engaging, very cerebral. Okay, and the reasons are because you have diversity and multiplicity of interests in River State, 23 local government areas, and then it was even more with the Bayelsa still being part of
Part of the
River
state,
State.
yes, sir.
So you had all these interests all represented there, and it was like putting your best foot forward. So you had the best brains coming into the River State House of Assembly. So it wasn't a place for miscreants or bandwagons or never do wells. Because if you are there, you have to argue your case intelligently. So that was the situation. Yes, Now, on the floor, there were differences, there were arguments, there were sometimes some expressions of anger, bitterness, but they were handled maturely in the house.
Exactly.
Yes, it never spilled over to the point where it turned into gangsterism
Yeah.
or cultism or witch hunting anyone. Okay, so it was purely about the interest, everyone representing their sectional interest in the house for the
The good
entire
of the
old river
people.
state. Now those old crops of persons passed away with the military hijacking several parts of civilian and truncating civilian administration to the last one, where after Abacha died, and then 1999 we started this phase or
This, yeah.
era of democratic dispensation. I started with Peter Odile.
Totally,
He
yes.
handed as governor, handed over to Amechi
Amici.
as governor, His Excellency Amechi as governor, and then to His Excellency Wike, and then Celestine Omeha came in between, but the law did not recognize him, and so it moved there from to Amechi, then Amechi to Wike, then now to His
Yeah.
Excellency Simla Ifuba, the present governor of River State. Now, one other thing you notice is that each governor wanted to have a hold of the legislature. Um, the question is it legal, or is it personal or subjective or selfish? Um, Two things. Yes, it is legal to lobby the house, but it is illegal to want to cage
Only.
or control the house for your
Only.
parochial interest or your selfish political interest because you're a chief executive. So there were insinuations, there were allegations and rumors that because the executive is the one that does the spending and the final signing and payment of money, like they say, he who pays the piper dictates the
Dictates the
tune.
tune.
So you find that the chief executives, they want to give, appease, dampen, soften the ground of the legislators by maybe buying them posh cars, building
Building
luxury houses
houses
for
for
them,
them, as we have
giving
seen.
them some
Yeah.
yeah, extra monies and all that and all that.
Incentives
The
and
reason is because it is the house, the River State House of Assembly, that has the power, legitimate power, to impeach the governor. Now, even at that, when they come forward with their case of impeachment, it doesn't stop with them. It can start with them, but it has to go to the River State, the Chief Justice of the state there. So when they do that, they will set up a panel, and when the case is proven beyond reasonable doubt,
that
then it comes back to them
to the
to
house.
effect. So, um, political scholars and watchers, and even the 40th state of the realm, following the precedents and the antecedents of political development, you will say, okay, you better make the legislators your friend than your enemy if you want to be, you want to succeed your rule successfully in your term, because as the chief executive of the state, it is possible that you may err on the side of law and caution. And now, if you have your enemies watching your back, it's dangerous. So they want to make them their friends, and they do all that. But the adverse effect of that is that, um, they say when oil don't touch one hand, it don't
It will
touch
stain
two,
others.
it don't touch three, and when the oil don't touch your mouth, you cannot say you're not guilty. So if you buy over the legislature, it means you're inadvertently shutting their mouths from doing their legitimate duty and service to the people. Now, these are allegations, whatever, but we see the situations playing out where at some administrations and regime, you find active legislatures that are doing their job without fear or favor, while in some administrations, they seem to be sleeping,
Docile.
dormant, docile, you know. So, and when we see that, one of the persons or stakeholders of society that get worried are the journalists. We say, this is not how it's supposed to be. Oh. This is not how it's
What's
supposed to
happening
be.
here?
Something is happening here. And that's where the insinuations and allegations they begin to be bantered. that they are now a rubber stamp House of
House of
Assembly.
Assembly.
So we had all these situations. And actually, when you also find that every chief executive and every regime, your primary business is to solve the challenges of society per time. You are a solution giver. You are a chief executive. You're supposed to make the best use of our resources and direct them to solve the people's problem. And when we find out that there are challenges, bad roads, instead of increasing, they are
Increasing.
decreasing, they are increasing.
To be honest.
You find out that schools,
Yeah.
instead of increase the quality in terms of quality and quantity, they
They
are increasing. Hospitals, maybe even the ones that the few good ones are dying, and every other area, basic amenities, to sum it up, are
are
not,
lacking.
yes, meeting up with line with the demand and expectation of the people. Of course, they will go public, and when they go public, they lynch on, they step on the platform of the media. So they come to the journalist. Nothing is happening. Our governor is not working. The House of Assembly, you understand? But actually, if you have a working House of Assembly, they should be checkmating
Yes.
the executive.
Executive.
So
Absolutely.
moving on to the former governor, just the past administration and the present administration. In His Excellency Governor Wike's administration, those some of the characters I've created or features were associated with his
With his
administration.
administration.
Ah, is the House of Assembly under Wike is rubber stamped.
Robert.
Ah, nobody is telling the governor what to do. Ah,
Nobody's
the governor
checkmating
is only
anybody.
doing brief flyover, flyover, flyover. No jobs. No agriculture is dying.
Other
Rivers ventures
sectors
are
are
dying. Yes, actually, the reason why we have the National Assembly, it is an offshoot from the classical public representation, public opinion poll, gathered in a town hall setting from the Roman and the Greek Empire. Okay,
yes.
that was where we got this parliamentary kind of sitting, because they sat down in an arena or galleria kind of gallery, and they sat down to put out their opinion as collective stakeholders, as collective state interest. So that was where the idea was borrowed. We are about 7 million today. I think even up
Okay.
to even when His Excellency Wike was in government, as at the last census and estimation, about 7 million. So 7 million of us cannot be in that House of Assembly.
No, not
So
at
I have
all.
to send a representative. You have to send a representative. To that extent, we expect our representative to speak
Speak for
for us, and for it to be able to speak to our issues and speak for us, what they call adequate representation. You have to be consulting with your constituency.
exactly.
So when we find out that, look, in Bori, in Kalabari, in Boni, health centers are dying. We don't have good schools. Our roads, our this, and these things, before it gets to the climax, it starts gradually.
Yes.
And by the time you find 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, nothing is being done, you go to the media, and then you find out that something is wrong with your representative.
Executive in the house.
So that's 10. That the under Wiki, the House of Assembly was rubber stamped, was not missing on the front banners of the media. It wasn't missing. Now, when you go on also, and you find out that former His Excellency Governor Wike was associated with high-handedness, um, dictatorial
Yeah,
tendencies,
yes.
um,
Heard all of that.
yes, would I call it marginalization or victimization? Some of the things that were associated with him, because of one, they saw him as some persons in society, especially who were on the opposing side or being too critical about his government, suffered certain things which were associated with him. So they said, okay, this government is like this, is like that, he doesn't listen. Especially from the onset that he started and said, look, it's flyover. All the criticisms, he never budged. Okay? Over 100 billion naira spent on flyover, when maybe if you had spent 10 billion on agriculture, or let's say 23 billion naira, because we are 20 local government areas, 1 billion per local government for, say, cassava. Okay, not dealing amount to people, but practically spent on the ground, would have yielded more. Agriculture has the potential to boost River State IGR, create employment, provide abundant food, bring down the cost of food. Maybe today what we are suffering buying garri, maybe about 300 naira a cup wouldn't have. You
Will be an
understand?
issue,
So
yeah.
when they see that yes, these things are not happening, and they looked at him as being a dictator, someone that does not listen to his people, and all that. So all that happened during his tenure. Now, at a point, I dare say he lost popularity. I dare say that. Yes, this is my opinion. This is from my perspective. I don't know, whoever may be listening or hearing may have their opinion and their perspective. Yes, from my perspective, and not just when I say me, not just for me, because of course as a broadcast journalist, I interacted with people. I also had my own on-air program. Yeah, so when I say, it means I also heard from people. Yes, whoever may be criticizing what I'm saying may also have this. But at a point, the governor was not popular because he was not actually touching, when you touch the right buttons of the people, solving their problems.
Then it lost popularity within the people, with
Yes,
the
among the people,
people.
among the people.
Yeah.
When I mean the people, yes, not the
Not,
political class.
yeah, not the
Yes,
political.
certain
Just
political
wanted to
class
clear that out.
may, and in fact, the political class we are seen as bought over. We are seen as slaves because they were like bootlickers, what you can call bootlickers. Because of what they were gaining from him, they had no choice than to be
Yeah, they
loyal.
felt like they were just quietly watching
Yes, they were
things
loyal.
dwindle in the
But the
state.
masses, so what I represent the masses, I believe in the masses. Yes, and I'm one person on earth and in Nigeria and River State that I've always said, look, if I'm in any office, if God makes me a governor, for instance, I said, may God not make me to sleep if I don't answer if I don't give the people solution or answer the problems of the people, and I'm facing just a myopic, small class or political interest. Okay, so because you are there for the people, so my concern should be that old woman or old woman in the remotest village, that smallest boy or child in the remotest village that is underprivileged due to some certain circumstance, maybe may not be of their own doing, but you are the governor of that state.
You reach
So
them.
every individual is important to you.
So you
You
get
reach
to them.
them.
You reach them.
You reach them with,
Basically,
and that's why you are there. And it is the height of disservice and ingratitude for any chief executive, either at the local government level, at the state level, or at the federal level, not to understand that why you are there, why you're in power, to think that to be intoxicated by power. Yes, power is an intoxicant. That's what political scientists say. But there's also the mafia principle that says don't get high on your substance, and that's what we find our politicians do. When they want to get into office, they will double. They will sit on the floor. They will come midnight. They will come and eat with you, play draft with you. They will laugh with you. But the moment they get into office, they shut their doors. They become demigods. You talk to them, they don't hear. Yes, power. That power, that office carries a cloud. It carries so much power that you can be intoxicated. But at every level, that's why it's not for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You must be able to distill your mind. There must be something to call you back to order, to say, look, this is why you are here now, and it's for the people. So whatever you are thinking 247, while you enjoy the government house or Aso Rock or wherever you are, provided by you by the taxpayers money, enjoying the comfort of life, 247 power supply, everything is working for you. You have every staff at your beck and call. You drive the Porsche latest bulletproof cars, whatever. You can travel, go to the best hospitals. Remember, you are enjoying those things to facilitate even more than that for the people. If you're not doing it, you have failed. According to Plato, the summary essence of governance is the good life for the citizens. So whatever you're thinking, whether you are sleeping in your bed, you should be asking God, inspire me. You're eating, you're talking with your aides. How do I make sure that 4 million Nigeria River State students, children gain scholarship they can go to school without paying? How do I make sure that that old woman can get the best medical care at the click of the finger? So when you're thinking in that direction, resources will come to you. You will think possibilities, you will see possibilities. But if you just think it's about the next election, which is typical of politicians, it's only true leaders that think of the next generation. So you're thinking, how do I win the next election? Then you're working with Oshobe boys that are empty minded. What they will tell you, okay, let's shut down here, do like this, carry this money here, do like this, take that boy, do like this. You say, Oshobe, hey, boys, are not loyal. And they won't tell you the truth. Because whenever they see
they
you,
know the truth.
we are loyal. We are loyal. When they are not loyal, what they are saying loyal is you put $1 on their back. You understand? They're not telling the truth. But if you have a sane mind and you have people around you, like our famous and renowned and well celebrated Spiff, Dr. Spiff, His Royal
Yes.
Majesty, or yes, how come I'm addressing His Excellency Spiff. He was a young at 27, I guess, if my memory serves me right. He became a governor. And one of the secrets of his success, he surrounded himself with elderly wise men that told him this was the way, this was the way. And his achievements has not been surpassed today. Look at the point block, look at secretary, look at civic center. Oh, from that time till now,
Everything is still standing.
they're still
So
standing.
yeah. So you made mention that you believe the past governor lost track and lost favor amongst the people.
Yes, very
So
well. Okay, go on. I
so
wanted to
how
add
do
to
we
that.
relate that? Because we're looking at a situation where probably instead there will be someone who got intoxicated.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
I said, how do we relate that situation of getting intoxicated by power, losing favor among the people, losing popularity
Okay,
amongst people, and the current situation
situation on
with
ground.
the sitting governor?
Okay,
Now it seems, because it seems like he's fighting for a position that he was elected into,
okay, okay,
legally,
okay.
constitutionally elected, and now he's fighting to keep that position because he has to deal with the powers
That the
that be
okay.
from the administration before
Yes.
his.
Okay. Yes.
How is that
The
playing
present
a role
governor,
in the current
the
political
present, the
crisis?
present governor, Similai Fubara, was the accountant general in his tenure, and he worked with the former governor closely, and of course, which means he was privy to several financial transactions and dealings and calculations and all that. So he's an accountant. So he has at the back of his hands every most of all good amount of information in terms of financials of real estate. Um, and of course, anybody in any company, you don't play with your accountants. You don't play with your accountants. Now, during because of the way the things I said about the former governor, remember, this is it. Politics, it is not about just showmanship or lying to the people, just as they talk about public relations. Public relations are about coming to lie to the people, but it is a sincere representation of the values and cultures of an organization. So you don't just come to say, let me give you carrots and then I want to cut your head. No. So, but now, because you need the people's vote, if you have the opportunity to rule the people, you will impress them to the extent that they vote for you willingly. When you have lost that, the next thing you can do is to intimidate them, is to, yes, coerce them to vote for you. Now, the former governor was focused on more on politicking. In his own mindset, or to him, he has done so well by all the flyovers, and building structures. Yes, the former governor Wike had so much experience in terms of political hands-on experience. He rose from local government chairman. I knew him then. From local government, first tenure, second tenure. So from when he was 8 to I forgot this man, my 3 or my 4 area. He rose to local government chairman, first tenure, and that then also linked it to the issue when they talked about help. He was helped into his first tenure as local government chairman. Second tenure, he was helped. Now, in all his transactions, he wouldn't say he was perfect, clean, perfectly clean, no fault. But the persons who would have maybe worked against him or indicted him, they did not take him to EFCC, so they helped him. Okay. When he became chief of staff, yes, he supported the governor, uh, um, the former governor before him, his
Amechi.
boss Amechi. He supported him himself and Magnus Abe.
Abe.
Yeah, they were the people that stood by Amechi during his trying periods. Yes, they stood by him. Fine. And when he became governor, and he came in, but as chief of staff, he was very vocal. He made that office of chief of staff so pronounced that yes, you if in the political system before you even know a commissioner, you know chief of staff, which was um, in civil service. It attracted some stick on you, but his excellency Amechi wasn't hard on him. So that was help, because ordinarily Amici would have said, I sack you.
Yeah.
She would
Shut
have
him
tarnished,
out.
yes,
Yeah. Shut him. Like
sack him and disgrace him publicly, to say, I sack you, black, spoil your name and your record and everything. But Amici did not do that. Amici was aware of his activities, that he had political ambitions. He was aware, but he did not fall out with him. When it was there was need to be for him to be appointed to the federal level, it takes the state governor, at sitting governor, at a point in time, to approve,
approve.
to make recommendations and approve. Amechi did, and
He's
sent
the
him,
Minister
yes,
of State for
yeah, a
Education
junior officer, Minister of State for Education.
under President
That
Jonathan.
was help. That was help.
Definitely.
So he was is acting of help. That was help. So now, so when he went there, under a senior minister, and him being a junior minister, he was more pronounced
Now
than the
than
senior
him than
minister.
his wife.
That was help. That would have required a serious sanction against him in the
Some
service.
level of
Up
checkmate.
to today, I don't even know the name of the minister, but I know his name. He was very
Everybody knows the
pronounced.
situation.
He started organizing this GDI, while he was in Abuja. He was
Development
convoking, because
initiative.
the governor was aware. They never fought him. You understand? He did that was help. You understand? Now he came back and ran for office and all that. And all that. Well, he has come into office, and when he finished all that he did, and I told you, he lost the people.
Yes.
So it was time for him, during the process of nominating names. Of course, as governor, as a political party, everybody has interest. There are several persons indicated interest, and whatever he negotiated or spoke with them, it was an insider affair. But finally, His Excellency, similar
Emerged.
Ifubada's name, emerged. Okay. Yes, as a in your political party, as the father, as the leader, then you have to work for your candidate to win, not illegally, but legitimately work for do politicking for your candidate to win. And now the governor has won. The legitimate thing to do is to step aside, spiritually, physically, or politically.
Mentally,
The thing to
economically,
do is to respect the office, not
office.
even if it's a small boy. That's what the people used to call regent in those days. People that stand in for younger kings. We are not up to the age. You are a king, but you'll be respected as a king, but you won't be
Regent.
function because maybe you're too small. So someone functions for you is called a regent. Now that regent does not mean that he despises you, because it's only a matter of time you ascend that throne.
Yes.
The moment you have someone sitting there legitimately as the governor, you respect him. There were governors before Wike. There was Odili. There was Amici. None of them were or are still were intimidating him, forming anti, having voice loyalists, giving directives, dictating what they call it. There was something he said about political structure, which is an insult to every two rivers person. What do you mean by political structure? Okay, now the insinuation is that Governor Wike has presidential ambition to become a president, which of course he expressed when he during the
Yeah,
last
yeah, the
presidential
last
election.
presidential election, yeah.
People saw it coming, and people are still saying he still has it. So for you, of course, for you to go on that platform to contest, you need a bargaining power. So River State is the bargaining power,
Is it
and so
enough? Is
yes.
it enough? Since we've gotten here his presidential ambition and Rivers, is it enough to throw the state into turmoil?
Of course, it's not. How does the turmoil, how does one man's political ambition and interest, parochial interest, that's not even the governor, how does he provide food? How does he make food? How does he make me and you and I buy Gary 1 cup 10 naira? How does it make you and I have a, but we're here now, there's no power. How does it provide? It was here for 8 years. We have, during his tenure, the technology, possibilities, resources to have what they call it, power company in River State was available. He did not bring it to make, but up to today, there's no power here, no 247 power. He had the opportunity to bring to develop our tourism industry. He did not. In fact, I have interviewed one of the experts in tourism and culture in River State, and the man told me that, look, I have the blueprint. I've taken it to the governor. They're very interested. Under Amechi revived Kano Reef.
Yes.
Amechi brought back business activities into. Amechi inherited an era of cultism and kidnapping and all that. between,
Crime, high
yes, in
crime
about,
rate
in
and
less than
stuff.
2 years, he was able to wrestle all that to the background and brought back investors. River State was bubbling almost annually with one event or the other. Businesses were going on and criminality dropped. Okay, and that is what people want. No, we all cannot be politicians,
Um,
but we must survive. What does the government do? You facilitate enabling environment for everybody to prosper. Ameti was able to do, but in his 8 years, what did he do?
can't say much about
We
that.
can't say. So now this man is here as the governor. Now, those what we are what we let me link it to the House of Assembly. The our Constitution, section 28 sub 1, that also applies to the National Assembly, talks about the moment you jump is about defection. The moment you defect to another party, you lose your seat.
Yes, it's
There is a tape. I pray you add it. The editor adds it to this one, where he himself said, "Look, we vote people from one party. The next minute they abandon that party and jump to
moved to
another
another
party.
party.
Leave your seats." He was the one. So attach it to what I'm saying. He said it. He also said, "When I leave office as governor, I will not disturb the
I will not
governor."
disturb the government.
And here the utterances he has been saying from Abuja to each time he comes to River
And
State.
recently he apologized
Even
to
the one he
Rivers
said,
State.
yes, there's an error, which means he's invariably saying he himself we do not vote for His Excellency. He himself
Implying
put him
that
there.
you
That's what he's
impose
saying.
this person on us.
Because if we voted, you can't tell us you are
Can't
sorry.
tell us you're sorry.
You can't tell us what are you apologizing that we voted. I mean, wise people should listen now. You
So
understand?
yeah, so based on everything you've said and the point you made about the executive, the chief executive trying to ensure that you have
The
a
stronghold of
cordial
the state.
working relationship with your House of Assembly because of the position they hold, the power they hold in quotes. Would you say right now the governor is doing everything he can to ensure that his House of Assembly is one that works for
Okay,
him?
yeah, let me link it to the defect. If somebody one first of all is in court, so to avoid subjudice, we're not going to talk. We're going to delay, but this is it. Yes. Now, based on that constitutional provision, once they shifted, that was they shot themselves in the feet. They didn't know. Once they shifted, they lost legitimacy. Now the governor, the House of Us, the former Speaker of the House before he resigned to become Edison Ehie,
Edison
yeah, to
Ehie.
become the chief of
Chief
staff.
of Staff to the
He
governor.
did the needful. He did the needful for INEC to start the process. INEC up to now has not before he left. Now this is it. So on that grounds, the few members that did not, that were still what the legitimate members
Members.
had to, yes, they now formed the relative quorum. Quote, I said relative quorum. Now, because remember, in the eyes of the law, now they have taken this matter to the law courts. Interpret this thing for us. We don't know. Nigerians are waiting. Rivers people are waiting. Why the delay? We're asking for speedy dispatch of justice. Now, they are only to interpret it, but this is what the law says. So they are the petitioners, and then the other law members are the defendants. Okay, so this is it. Now, the next thing is that because Edison has resigned and gone to become chief of staff, the remaining members have to move on. They are the ultimate members. Okay, so they had to move on with the quorum they have, because in the citing the constitution that says once you move defect from one party to
To
another
another.
that elected you, you have lost of your
Yes,
seat.
I see.
Yeah, pending the judgment of the court, they see themselves as the legitimate members. So they have gone ahead, and when they did this, they used the original maize.
Yes.
The sergeant at arms was with them, and they did it. And the law permits it. Anywhere they choose to assign as their office or assembly, it becomes their assembly. So the governor is working with them. Mind you, again, in every crime there is motive and opportunity. What is the intention of those who call the 27 who call themselves house members? What have they been doing? What has been their major preoccupation? Impeaching, impeaching, impeaching. We have issues. Flood is coming, and Nimet has said that look, 31 states, including River State,
Including Rivers State will be
yes,
affected.
and the last report of 2022 says over 22 billion was lost. Lives were lost. What were they doing? Those are challenges that are coming. What as legislators, what were they doing to make sure that the people they
Steps,
represent,
yeah.
yes, there are provisions for them. You are fighting. You are what they call it. You are tackling the issue that will be threat that is coming. Netherlands are celebrating over 65 years of non-flood. And we should see the River State of Assembly um, telling His Excellency, can we talk, invite Netherlands to come to River State? Netherlands is a small country. Yes, they experienced in 1953 they experienced flood, and that their responsible leaders and legislators sat down and came up with a solution. Today they are a reference point. We have a peculiar terrain. We should be seeing them do. That is what we want as the people. We don't want impeach. We are not talking about impeachment. Now, before you impeach, your constituency must empower you. You can't just come and, because you're representing me, you can't just come and say go and impeach the governor. No, did we send you? So let them provide the the constituency representatives who signed that they should go and impeach the governor. You understand?
Okay.
So now they want to do this. Obviously, in summary, what they have been doing is to um, have evidence to their allegation that the governor is doing nothing. He has no clue. He's not going anywhere. What no project? Thank God he has started commissioning
Yes.
for how many days? So at least maybe you should also add the commissioning, because they're asking no clue, no project. So we can see the projects that are going on now. You know, because remember that when the Wike was in power too, it took time for him to start commissioning projects.
Project getting
So
on.
they're asking no clue. When Amechi came, Amechi took some time to consult. So yes, in strategic change, you have two aspects: the constitution of the strategy and the implementations. The constitution takes time. Then when you start to implement with timeline and KPIs, it also takes time. So they were saying now, instead of supporting the governor, apparently they wanted to bring him down. They wanted to stall him, so that at the end of the day, they say, oh, he couldn't do anything. Because that's the narrative they're putting out there. He's not doing anything. He's not doing it. But now we are seeing. So they lied to us. All those that say he's not doing anything, we are seeing what he's doing. You know. So the governor has to go on, and he's working with those based on their petition on the constitution. Remember, the people are saying is the governor is not acting out of illegally. The laws, our constitution says if they jump, once you jump ship for one particular party, you lose your seat. That's the ground the governor is standing. The ones that have not jumped ship are the legitimate ones, and he's working with them. Remember too, after they went to Mr. President for the peace part, path, the peace part, they came up with some conditions. Instead of them to come into a Georgia, their stance has been like world war. Remember, the governor was not talking before.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist, and I know that on my platform was one of the platforms people were saying this governor is too quiet. Let him take action. Let him stand up like a governor.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
governor, you see, he was waiting
Yeah.
because he wanted peace, and he said, "I took these decisions for peace, not because they were legal. Even my going to concede to Mr. President is
President.
respect. It's for peace, not because I don't know what to do." So now that he has know what he has woken up, they say, "Oh, this governor is a warrior, is a fighter." Is you understand?
Okay. So one more question before we go.
Mm.
We are seeing a situation that has lingered. We don't know how long this is going to go on for, and obviously it has effect on the people, on the progress,
Yeah.
the administrative process, governance, and everything. What would you say? How do you think stakeholders, critical stakeholders, including the masses and probably the journalists as well,
Mm.
do you think that they have a role to play in, if this is a resolvable issue between the past governor and the current governor? Do you think the stakeholders in the state have a role to play to, see this thing get resolved so the state can move forward? Because there's no development in a warring space. So it becomes a problem if our governor cannot work effectively without having to deal with court cases and all of this turmoil from one impeachment crisis and people attacking him in quotes. So do you think there's a resolution for this, and how do you think it can be achieved, and what is your message to
Okay, very quickly.
members of the
Well,
assembly?
very quickly, mark my words. Thank God it's on record. This governor will serve successfully. The reason I say that, because he has shown himself to be a people's governor, a listening governor. Any leader that listens, that is after the wants, the needs, and the demands of the people, will succeed. That's why I say that. I'm not a politician. I'm a professional to the core. I don't belong to any political party, and I don't want to belong to any political party. So the other thing is that yes, there will always be, in every trade there will always be Judas. In every gathering where you have people, there will be differences in opinion. There will be rancor. But whoever behaves illegally, the law should take its full course on that person. My call to the commander in chief, the president. I like the statement he has just said. I think earlier this week that he's not going to take sides on the matter in River State. He's not going to support anybody. He's going to be neutral. That's what you
Yes.
should be. But let it be in the spirit and in the letter, not to say it out there and then behind you are supporting one side. Another thing is, where see, if the president says he's not supporting anybody, let him also call every other apparatus or structure, security operatives under him, because these other enemies of the state, they will go behind and use any federal might, because that's their confidence. They use their federal might to come and disturb, arrest people as they have been doing, arrest people, maybe hunt them, and then maybe come around, cause one trouble, shoot people, and say, "Oh, the governor started, governor started it," and all that. So, if anybody, no matter highly placed, is acting above the law, it should be brought to order. So whether it is Wike, whether it is anybody, they should be brought to order under the law. Simple. Now, when you talk about resolving them, the only resolution that makes sense is a resolution that is for the best interest of River State. And what is it? If anyone is acting at cross purposes, is acting to his own parochial selfish interests, and it is against Rivers people, that marriage is not necessary. When you say you're married to a woman, you should be working, you should be talking, thinking, and acting alike. But if you are at variance at every time, that's what they call irreconcilable differences. If between Wike and our excellence similar Ifubara, they cannot work together, let it be irreconcilable differences for peace. So long as it puts food on our table, so long as it makes life easy, cheaper, we can live well, no problem. The governor has said it that he appreciates what the former governor has done. Yes, but you don't make yourself God over me. That's what he said, and that's what it should be. There is nobody. There is nobody on this under this sun. Even the Lord Jesus Christ, do you know that he was helped? When he came, the first thing he started to recruit disciples. Is that not help? Yes, he couldn't have done it alone. He sent people. People brought. There was a lady that brought food for him. Mary and Martha brought food for him. They said the house where he normally eats, which means they were preparing food. That's help. There is nobody that is not helped in this life. So if you think that you helped someone, it is never. And it was a privilege. It's not your birthright. You are privileged to be there out of the millions of Rivers people. And so if tomorrow you must step aside for some other person to be there, it's a privilege. You do your part and you bow out honorably. So whatever step we go on, I also want to say that the threat, some persons are threatening that 2027 we will see. It's funny that they are not wise, because when the former governor was in power, I tell people that the gentle strides of the tiger is not a sign of cowardice. The Rivers people were working gently as a tiger that was not aggressive. Does not mean that they didn't know what to do, but they wanted peace. But this time, when you challenge people, my father used to tell me, "Don't tell a man what can you do." He will be surprised, and that's what they are doing. They're not wise. They are telling us what can you do. Now they will see what the governor can do. But all we want is development. Any political interest or pursuit, clamor, energy expenditure that does not lead to the good life of the citizens of River State is in futility. Has no respect, has no dignity, is in vain. And anyone supporting it is empty, is vain and empty. Like I see so many persons standing for no reason because I am loyal. What their loyalty is because maybe somebody helped you to have daily bread, and that's your loyalty.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Miebaka. Thank you for being here, being our guest. It's been great talking to you. And we hope that everything you've shared with us from your wealth of experience will be taken into cognizance by those who need it. As a River State person, I'm also wishing and hoping for a better, more progressive River State. So thank you very much, our listeners. We would same time next time. Thank you. Bye.